ඉංග්‍රීසි ටියුටර් ඉංග්‍රීසි පාඩම් මාලාවේ 3 වන පාඩමට ඔබව සාදරයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා. 3 වන පාඩම Continuous Tenses. මේ පාඩමේදී අපි present continuous tense, past continuous tense සහ future continuous tense ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. Lesson 3. Continuous tenses. In this lesson, we'll be learning present continuous tense, past continuous tense, and future continuous tense. දෙවන පාඩමේදී වගේම මේ පාඩමේදීත් වාක්‍ය ගොඩනැගීම සඳහා අපට action verb forms අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. Continuous tense යටතේ වාක්‍ය ගොඩනැගීම සඳහා අප යොදාගන්නේ present participle එනම් V4 verb form එකයි. present participle අවසන් වන්නේ ing ආකාරයටයි. Action verbs. We know there are 4 forms of verbs: present, past, past participle, and present participle, also called as V1, V2, V3, and V4. Now let's look at some examples. Love, loved, loved, loving. Run, ran, run, running. Write, wrote, written, writing. Now let's start learning present continuous tense, past continuous tense, and future continuous tense using the action verb love. දැන් අපි present continuous tense වාක්‍ය ගොඩනගන ආකාරය වෙත යොමු වෙමු. Present continuous tense. Subject plus am is are plus V4. I am loving. I am not loving. Am I loving? Am I not loving? You are loving. You are not loving. Are you loving? Are you not loving? He is loving. He is not loving. Is he loving? Is he not loving? She is loving. She is not loving. Is she loving? Is she not loving? It is loving. It is not loving. Is it loving? Is it not loving? We are loving. We are not loving. Are we loving? Are we not loving? You are loving. You are not loving. Are you loving? Are you not loving? They are loving. They are not loving. Are they loving? Are they not loving? Example sentences. I am loving her. I am not loving her. Am I loving her? Am I not loving her? දැන් අපි බලමු past continuous tense වාක්‍ය ගොඩනගන ආකාරය. Past continuous tense. Subject plus was, were plus V4. I was loving. I was not loving. Was I loving? Was I not loving? You were loving. You were not loving. Were you loving? Were you not loving? He was loving. He was not loving. Was he loving? Was he not loving? She was loving. She was not loving. Was she loving? Was she not loving? It was loving. It was not loving. Was it loving? Was it not loving? We were loving. We were not loving. Were we loving? Were we not loving? You were loving. You were not loving. Were you loving? Were you not loving? They were loving. They were not loving. Were they loving? Were they not loving? Example sentences. I was loving her. I was not loving her. Was I loving her? Was I not loving her? Then future continuous tense වාක්‍ය ගොඩනගමු. Future continuous tense. Subject plus shall or will plus be plus V4. I shall be loving. I shall not be loving. Shall I be loving? Shall I not be loving? You will be loving. You will not be loving. Will you be loving? Will you not be loving? He will be loving. He will not be loving. Will he be loving? Will he not be loving? She will be loving. She will not be loving. Will she be loving? Will she not be loving? It will be loving. It will not be loving. Will it be loving? Will it not be loving? We shall be loving. We shall not be loving. Shall we be loving? Shall we not be loving? You will be loving. You will not be loving. Will you be loving? Will you not be loving? They will be loving. They will not be loving. Will they be loving? Will they not be loving? Example sentences. I shall be loving her. I shall not be loving her. Shall I be loving her? Shall I not be loving her? ඒ සමගින් continuous tenses පාඩම අවසන් වෙනවා. සාර්ථක ප්‍රතිඵල සඳහා ඉහත පාඩම් නැවත නැවතත් පුහුණුවීම් සිදු කරන්න. මීළඟ පාඩම සමගින් නැවත හමුවෙමු. අලුත් පාඩම් සඳහා අපගේ channel අදම subscribe කරන්න. bell සලකුණ tap කරන්න. That's the end of the English grammar lesson. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and tap the bell icon to stay updated.